Good morning, everyone. It's Mornings with the Manager, April 16, 2025, 9:30. Thank you so much for tuning in for this update. And it's always a pleasure and a privilege to share with you a few things about the city of Monterey, our city council, and our great city team, and what we are doing to make our lives here all better and easier. Last night we had a very, very long council meeting. It started at 4 p.m. and we left the chamber, I believe, around 11 p.m. And there were a lot of things that the council did uh, hear and also decided about. And as always, we received quite a number of public input to various topics. In the afternoon, we started off by asking the council to authorize a data sharing agreement between the cities of Marina, Pacific Grove, and Salinas for our police record management system. That is basically police record management system that is located in the cloud, and the cities of Marina, Pacific Grove, and Salinas and Monterey, we are all sharing the same system, and there is an opportunity to share certain data points when the police is investigating crimes committed in the city, or when the police is investigating reports about certain issues. There is now, with the blessing of the council that we received last night, an opportunity to share data points. That does not mean that everything is being shared immediately. And also, there are very relevant state laws and government codes which protect privacy and other the other data points that every police agency in the state has to adhere to. And this data sharing agreement will not make those rules and regulations obsolete. So the council approved the data sharing agreement. We also added a new permit to our mix of permits if you want to open a business here in the city of Monterey. And I think that's actually a good thing. We try really not to be too bureaucratic. We really try to streamline the whole process. But in this case, the idea was to add a zoning clearance permit to allow businesses to open. What does a zoning clearance permit accomplish? You need to pull a zoning clearance permit with the planning office in order to be sure that the type of business that you want to open at a certain location is allowed by our zoning regulations. So, give you like a blatant example, you can pull a business license to open a nightclub here in Monterey. But then, after you have received the business license for a nightclub, you cannot open the nightclub, of course, in a residential area. So, of course, most of the businesses know that, but the zoning clearance now ensures that the businesses that want to operate in the city of Monterey, that they know what is allowed and what they have to do in order to be legal inside the city. A business license can be pulled without relevance, without connection to zoning laws or zoning regulations. And from time to time, it happens that someone gets a business license and think, since the city issued a business license, you are in the clear. And so that is not the case. And we had cases where basically a business opened and we had to tell them, sorry, that is not allowed. Zoning clearing permit will ensure that businesses, before they open a business, before they invest money into their space, before they sign long-term leases or rental agreements, that there is this additional check. So the council approved that. Then we had a longer conversation about sidewalk vending in the city of Monterey. There were a lot of sidewalk vendors that were showing up, and they were expressing their concerns about the street vending ordinance that we are proposing to amend in order to create also some more safety buffers in certain areas. So we also proposed, and the council approved, to limit the amount of space that can be used. And there were a lot of additional suggested regulations. In the end, the council, after listening to the pros and cons, because we also had other residents, businesses speaking about the necessity to regulate certain things. The council voted to approve the first reading, and they suggested that we limit the distance from 15 feet down to 10 feet. So that will allow here and there more vendors to operate. So that was a very robust conversation. At the end, the council voted 5-0 for the first reading, and then there's a second reading in 2 weeks about this ordinance, with a slight change will be in there. And after the second reading, if that gets approved, then as always, when it's an ordinance, it takes 30 days until it is part of the city charter and the city law. We also received in the evening then a presentation about WARF number 2, the very concrete, what shall we do to maintain WARF number 2. There were several suggestions made by an engineering company called COVI, and the WARF was constructed in 1926. Next will be 100 years old, but it is reaching its end of life now. And what kind of reinvestment strategies do we need to consider in order to continue having an operational, functional wharf? Three options were presented. The number one option, is that we keep on doing what we are doing, which is investing about $3 million every 3 to 4 years to basically keep doing what we are doing. We have been doing this since 2017, 2022, and 2024 that we have invested into that. So these were just the last 3 times of that. Prior to that, there were other restructuring efforts as well. But that cost us anywhere, as I said, between $2 to $3 million. Then the next strategy is do a comprehensive rehabilitation of the wharf at the tune of $50 million. And the last one is a total reconstruction of the wharf with a new structure, a new steel structure, and that cost is in excess of $150 million. There was a good conversation between the council, staff, and the engineers who we use as consulting engineers. And at the end, I think we will be landing on the middle, which is investing $50 million or more to upgrade the wharf. Again, there has not been a decision made yet, but I kind of think that is where the council wants to go. We informed the council that we are going after a federal grant for port infrastructure that basically will allow us to get $50 million in order to upgrade the wharf. We are very hopeful that we get that. We are on a tight federal deadlines to get that project launched. And it's quite an investment in time and engineering capacity to put the grant proposal together. But we are working on that, and hopefully we have a shot in getting a federal grant of $50 million for the wharf. If we do not get that, we have to regroup and discuss with the council other options. The last item in the night was we are starting a new climate action plan. A climate action plan is basically a guiding document for the city in which we outline how we want to propose our greenhouse gas emission in order also to achieve compliance with various state laws. Our lawmakers in Sacramento give us those mandates to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions by certain percentages. Our three largest consumers are transportation related gas emissions, so everyone is commuting by themselves. That takes a lot of creates a lot of emissions. The second one was the building, all the buildings that are in the city of Monterey, and that does include also your private residences or multifamily housing units. The consumption there of natural gas produces a lot of greenhouse gas. So I think most of us have gas appliances in your households. That is the second largest emitting pollutant right now. And then the third one is electricity in the buildings that are using again non-renewable energies to produce greenhouse gases. So our sustainability coordinator, Ted Terrasses, had a brilliant performance in front of council, and the council was very engaged. Keep in mind, this was a long night starting at 4 p.m. and ending at 11 p.m. And we started that presentation about greenhouse gas emissions and capital and climate action plan at about 10 o'clock or so. But they all paid close attention and were very engaged in the whole conversation. It will have a large public outreach component. We already started public outreach, being out there here in front of Colton Hall during cutting day. We had events at the farmers market or the old Monterey marketplace on Tuesdays. There will be more events forthcoming where you can participate, but we also will have surveys, etc., on our website, how you would see us to proceed on this one. And of course, we also will have input from all types of community groups who are concerned about this and want to share with us what they are thinking. As always, we will post a recap of our council meeting by lunchtime today. This is a one pager in which we just basically highlight the main points that happened last night. If you want to hear anything more or you want to watch it, it's on YouTube or at AMP, and we always also issue minutes afterwards that then are approved by the city council at the following meeting. So our council recap is nothing else than fast food solution to know what was going on. But if you want to see the whole menu and if you want to see how it was cooked, I really highly recommend go onto YouTube or look at our minutes that we are publishing. That is also a very good record for you to see what was going on. Our camping ordinance will become in effect at the end of this month, and our police department will start enforcing based on the new camping ordinance. We have redefined where you can camp and where you cannot camp, and hopefully those tools will allow us to provide more services to our to those of us who are unhoused, and it will hopefully help them to find permanent housing faster. We will have a budget update for you in the spring edition of City Focus. We're in the middle of putting the budget together. It is, as always, a longer process. It's never the case that we have more revenues coming in than we can spend. And so we are working on providing a budget that includes all the that we continue to provide to you. and here and there actually also slight service improvements. One of the elements that this council wants to see is a more emphasis on economic development. So we are looking at how can we accomplish that objective from the council to invest more staffing wise, resource wise into economic development. What do they mean by that? They want to see how can we as a city also facilitate the attraction of additional businesses here? How can we use underutilized areas or maybe areas that have the potential to be rented out to business in a better way? And so economic development is a big, big topic. It includes also on the other side that there are state and federal funding opportunities right now that we also try to tap into. So this topic is complex, but it's part of our budget to deliver to the council a proposed solution. On April 30th, you will hear for the first time a presentation about next year's budget, fiscal year 25-26. At that meeting in April, it's a Wednesday, we'll start at 4 o'clock. We will provide the council as well as the public with a very broad overview about the key numbers that we at that time then have identified. As I said, it's like what you do at your kitchen table. You're sitting down with your counting the money that you receive, and then you're looking also hopefully at what are the monthly expenses, whether it's rent, mortgage, utilities, cell phone costs, cable TV, etc. And so we are balancing all that here, the kind of the same way, just our kitchen table is so much larger and our different funding streams are so collectively different that it takes a little longer. But that's basically what we are doing. And then at the end of that process, we will present our best estimate for fiscal year 25-26, and that's what we call then the budget. You can imagine that there are some uncertainties right now, especially with the decision making in Washington, where decisions are sometimes retracted within hours again. That leads to great uncertainty. You see that uncertainty is now felt also by our population across the United States, and you see that sentiment, of course, that people are deciding where do we want to spend money, or do we really want to go down to Monterey for a night or two, or do we just want to do a day trip, or do we cancel everything and just stay in town and enjoy our hometown a little bit more and keep our money closer to us because we don't know what will happen tomorrow. So that's part of the challenges we encounter with the uncertainties coming out of Washington. And as we move forward, we can only hope that there will be some solutions coming that gives the consumers confidence again into knowing how they can allocate their funding, especially the discretionary funding. So that makes the budgeting a little harder to do because again, we depend on the hotel tax. The hotel tax then helps us to also figure out the sales tax, and all those revenue sources add up to more than 40% in the city's revenues. And you can understand that those swings can affect our ability to manage a city that has service levels that no other city in the Tri-County area has. So we have a lot of service levels that we are offering because we can afford to do it for reasons that I just outlined about our hospitality economy. So budget, April 30th, I encourage you to tune in, listen to the budget, and let us know also what you think. We had a fire, I think, almost 2 weeks ago, Thursday, at Carl's Jr., located on Lighthouse Avenue. The building is a total loss. You've probably seen the reports in the news. Almost a couple of days later, I want to say it was 5 days later, we met our entire city team that is tasked with rebuilding that building together with the owner of Carl's Jr. And it's my understanding that that building will be rebuilt in hopefully a short amount of time. The the owner is very motivated, and we will do everything possible on our city staff to ensure that this uh, source of income for many people who work there, but also a supplier for a lot of folks who are patrons of Carl's Jr., that this will be rebuilt in the fastest time possible. I can share with you another interesting nugget. The owner of that Carl's Jr. operates other Carl's Jr.'s here on the peninsula, and all of their employees have been re-employed at the other locations. So that's good news, I feel, to share as well. Um, Tomorrow, April 17th, please avoid the 200 block of Franklin Street. We will close Cali P from about 7 to noon, as we have a crane operating in somewhere on the 200 block of Franklin Street. Last weekend, the town was full. We had Sea Otter Classic, we had Whale Fest, and then we had the event called Pebble Beach Wine and Food. And all those three events were visited by various different stakeholders, and the town was full. And next weekend, or at the end of April, I'm sorry, the last weekend in April, we will have the Big Sur International Marathon. So a large event attracting more than 7,000 runners. A big staple of that event is our vendor fair that is hosted at the Monterey Conference Center, where also all the runners come to pick up their race information. And if you have never been to the exhibition hall there, it's open for everyone. You don't need a ticket. And don't worry, you will not be recruited to run either. So just go in there and take a look at the industry that is has been developing around runners like that, and it's quite interesting how many things they figured out you can sell to runners who want to run marathons. So it's open. The vendor fair starts on April 25th, Friday, from 12 to 6, and then also on Saturday, April 26th, from 9:30 to 6 p.m. So check it out. It's a fun atmosphere, and really interesting. Last item for you to know, May is Building Safety Month. So our Building Safety Division will continue to celebrate Building Safety Month a little bit. As you know, building safety, these are the folks that the contractors have to call to inspect their work at various stages of construction. And they play a very critical role to ensure that buildings that are being built, all the remodels, all the additions are safely built, that they are sustainable, and also that they are affordable. And so we will send out a news release about this today, and they will also showcase what they are doing on the Old Monterey Marketplace on Alvarado Street on April 29th and also May 13th. These are each Tuesday. So we're looking forward seeing you downtown. Ask a building inspector any question you want to ask, and our building official, she will be there as well. That's all from my office for today. I hope you're doing great. If you have any questions, suggestions, concerns, please do not hesitate to connect with us. You can call us here, or you can send us an email at our suggest email. If you see anything in the city that doesn't look right, don't hesitate, pick up the phone. Let us know as well. With that, thank you so much for your attendance today, for listening to me, for watching me speak. And as always, it's a privilege to work for you, and it's a privilege to work with you. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.